So today I'm going to do this a little early. This is going to be my ban list, kind of like a wish list for the next format to come, probably after Photon Hypernova, and I'd want to get this out of the way. Now, it does have some of my actual real predictions on here, but also it does have wish list stuff, so let's get right into it. So first off, the only banned card I have, and really the only banned card that really needs to happen, is Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds. If you guys don't know, this is one of the main cards for Flunderies. And people are going to start playing it in Kashtira because you can make Arsenal Falcon, and Arsenal Falcon summon this card from the deck. Outside of that, this Floodgate card, in my opinion, needs to go. Even though that we have outs and everything, with how the game's going to be going and the next few months, this card is going to be a major problem card. After that, we have Black Dragon to 1. I really want to see Black Dragon to 1. Because Adamantipator's, they don't have anything for a Prank Kid engine. They don't have Hulk or Auroradon. And honestly, they're just there. Some people are playing Sprites with them, but in my opinion, I'd rather play Pure, even though Sprites is still pretty good. Black Dragon is one of my favorite cards that came out over the past few years because I used it in Goki and a few other decks here and there. And honestly, putting it to 1 will be a little scary, but also would be interesting to see what people could do, since Tearlaments can't use it because they're not Earth, but also Earth Fairies can use it because they are all Earth. After that, we have Kelbeck and also Medora. We have the opposite two that the OCG didn't hit. Kelbeck being Mill 5 and also a hand trap, along with Medora being one of the shufflers that activates Gravekeeper's Trap from the deck. So these two cards go hand in hand. OCG hit Agido and Keldo. Well, I feel like we're going to hit Kelbeck and Medora. Or we could just do both of the shufflers being Keldo and Medora. Afterwards, I'm still on a Harp Horror after it's got banned in 2019. And in my opinion, this card going to 1 would be fantastic to see. But other than that, Harp Horror, I believe coming back would make the game a little more interesting and would give players a little incentive to test out fun things again. And speaking about fun things, well, this is more unfun. Runic Fountain to 1. I really don't like going against the Floodgate Turbo that can draw 9 in 1 turn. I really don't enjoy that at all, and being able to just draw 3 by shuffling back 3 runic spells is very broken. Given that most of the I think all the extra monsters are hard once per turn, or not a hard once per turn. Fountain's not a hard once per turn, but all the spells are, but you can still get a +9 if you play it precisely. After that, for the limits, we have Tearlaments, Havnus, or Tearlaments Merly. Now, out of all the Tearlaments cards in the main deck, I feel like Havnus might be the one to hit the most, because of what it does. Now, one of the honorable mentions out of the bunch would be Tearlaments Kitkalos. Kitkalos is one of those cards that I think it could come back to 1, but it's one of those things like, should it go down to 1? If we put it down to 1, people are mostly already playing 1, so it really doesn't matter. So just keep it at 3, and then the list after, just knock it out. But either Havnus or Merely would be a couple cards to hit, because I'm also taking into consideration with the OTS pack leak. So Reno Heart's not going to get hit. They're not going to hit the field spell because it is a secret rare, and they'd rather protect the secret rares as long as they can. Then also we're left with Kitkalos, Merely, Havnus, Sharon, and Reno Heart, or not Reno Heart. But you could also argue that they could hit Sharon because she is a super rare. So that is another monster to add to this. So Tearlament Sharon could be a possibility of one of the 3. One of the 4 that could get hit in the future. After that, we have extra deck monsters. Already went over Kikalos. It could go to 1, even though people are most are only playing 1. But post the next set, you want to play 2. We have Link Cross. Halqa-Fibrex is gone. Aurora Dawn is gone. And really, only Cyberse decks would be able to use this card. That's my opinion though, but other decks could potentially use this if they run a million tuners. Or some tuners that they can summon to the board easily. But it's just one of those cards that I feel like it could help out with utility-wise. Starfish to 1 would definitely be interesting. And since we're banning Barrier Statue, put some Morg to 1. Because really, so Barrier Statue was the actual problem, but they couldn't hit this card because it was too new. Would you rather deal with a Apex Avian, that's 1 negate, or you had to summon something to attack over a Barrier Statue and waste your whole entire main phase and battle phase? I would rather just take the negate. I would just rather take the negate over not being able to special summon except wind monsters. Now, afterwards, the final card for this, either going to 1 or 3. Ancient Fairy Dragon with the errata. We know that this card is going to get errated here in the TCG sometime soon, probably in Maze of Memory, and they want it off the list that it comes out after. Or before. So there is that Ancient Fairy Dragon, 100% coming off the list next. Now to the semi-limits. We only have 3, Danger Tsuchinoko, Lunalight Tiger, and Multi-Roll. Danger Tsuchinoko, I really think that all the dangers could go back to 3 to sell the structure deck better, the Dark World structure deck a little more, and it gives Dark World a little more utility, and other decks that's also utility if we're going to be going on like a little slap happy with the list. After that, Lunalight Tiger. Lunalight's having topping with tier limits. Give them another Tiger, see what happens. And Multi-Roll is just to give Sky Striker something back, since they're getting more support, and we're also getting more support after that. So getting Multi-Roll to 2 is absolutely fine. You could put it to 3. It really doesn't matter, in my opinion. Now, after that, we have the Unlimits. We are starting with the monsters being Infernity, Archfiend, and Gen X Ally Birdman. These 2 cards, they're just rotting there on the ban list right now. One thing, Birdman being there, was because of Ancient Fairy Dragon, but now Ancient Fairy Dragon's been eroded, and this won't be a loopable piece anymore, along with Divine Winds of the Mist Valley. So 3 pieces coming off the list at once, all because of this card not being eroded, but now it's being eroded. So that's one good thing to see in the future. Infernity Archfiend and Infernity after the support has done nothing, and they're going to be getting more support in the future, most likely. So that is one thing to keep an eye out on. Afterwards, Draco Face-Off. Even though Draco Slayers don't run it, take it off the list. Even though Konami does not like Pendulum Monsters, just take it off the list. It's nice seeing Draco Slayers top, and even in the OCG, they don't even run this card because it's not really that useful. Because you'd rather run not Draco Overlords. And for the final 2 cards, we have TG Hyper Librarian and Recital Starling. Librarian, I haven't seen this card at all ever since I went back down to 1. And Recital Starling is to follow the pattern that they're doing. Put it to 1, then limit it because it's a problem, then put it to 2, then put it to 3. In my opinion, they overhit Lyrilish Tri-Brigade so much, so putting it to 3 would probably do nothing because you only run 2. But if you guys did enjoy this banner wish list, comment down below what your thoughts on it are and all of that. But anyways, I've been Bolt Spider. See you guys in the next video, and goodbye.